The Werewolves escape and give Boom Shakalaka their first loss. Halfway Crooks escape as well, and the Alliance drop 100 again. We're joined by one of their players. We'll get to him in a second, but this is the Week 3 post-game show. Still looking for a sponsor, so no Reed today. Joey Zaka with the guys. We're joined by Victor from the Alliance, as you can see. We'll start with you there. Dropped 100 tonight. There was a moment for the first time, I think, this season where they made a little run and cut it to 10 or 12 or 8 in that ballpark. I know we talked to Darius during the post-game interview, and he was like, yeah, we weren't playing defense, weren't making shots, and like that happens from time to time. But what did you see during that run where they really kind of caught up?
Well, we probably saw some defense, but we got a little fatigued there. We weren't rotating, and they kind of was passing the ball, moving good rotations, had a lot of open shots, offensive rebounds. So fatigue definitely got the best of us, but once we got our win back, we had it going.
I'm going to give it to you guys before we ask them another one. What did you guys see from them during that stretch, and then how they flipped the switch?
I thought they honestly weren't really taking them like that seriously to begin with. That I feel like they thought they were going to like walk away with the game from the get-go, and then once they started seeing that they were like coming close and close, they were like, all right, let's actually play now. And then they really like picked it up, started communicating like they always do, and then the final result.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end, they just flipped the switch and pulled away.
Yeah, played higher up the court too, press, and caused a lot of turnovers that way.
So what's one thing you're going to take, and then if you guys have a question, what's one thing you want to take into next week, I believe against Boom Shakalaka, which will be one of your better games, better matchups?
Finishing out plays, offensively, defensively, missing a lot of plays, like easy ones, whether it be alley-oops, lead to turnovers and easy points for the team. Like you said, we're trying to pick up further and further defensively, apply pressure to other teams, make them give it the ball when they don't want it. So that's what we're trying to do going forward.
3-0 so far, so whatever you're doing is working. Anything else? One more question?
I just think you guys really can match up with anyone, especially in man. I don't think anyone can like take you guys one-on-one. And even if they're on an island out there, it's like it's not really an island because it's a pretty big island to go around.
Yeah.
Any question? You got one? No? All right, so Boom Shakalaka. Next week, give me a key to that game besides the pressure. I mean, have you seen some of their games?
Yeah, they attack the boards pretty well. So we got to block out, finish plays, and then look to go down the other way and take our time offensively. A lot of times we're rushing and we're not finishing our plays. So make sure we take our time, move the ball, and get good shots.
I think they have some good size. We're going to get to their game tonight in a second. Boom Shakalaka can shoot it. I think they have some shooters that match kind of what you guys do. So it'll be fun. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Good luck.
See you.
Thank you.
Be good, man. All right, so now let's get to the other games. If you guys everyone scooch on down, make this as awkward as possible. This looks good right here. So, Boom Shakalaka and the Werewolves, we'll go there next. The Werewolves win, so now Boom Shakalaka has a loss. The Werewolves have...
They're 2-1.
They're
2-1.
Yep.
Halfway Crooks 2-1. So we got a little, logjam there.
Yeah.
Look at that. So, what did the Werewolves do? Some big plays down the stretch. I know Gino after the game mentioned Brian Heston playing well. Some of the officials were saying a 15-0 run for the Werewolves during the third quarter, I believe. But what did you guys see in that game?
It's the same old Werewolves. 1-2 puncher. Heston and Forte really brought them back in the game early. And I think they were able to recover off that slow start pretty well and locked in on the defensive end, so they were able to
I think some of the slow start was because Heston was a little late coming in. I think he missed like the first minute or two of the game, and they didn't have that presence out there. But once he got out there and they really started to gel, and he got into his own form and warmed up, and I feel like that's kind of when the run came along.
Yeah, he actually physically came late. It wasn't like he started slow. He
physically
showed up late.
Yeah, he checked in with 8 minutes to go in the first or something like that. So yeah, you don't get that warm up or anything like that. You can notice it.
Get thrown right in anything.
Yeah, and I'd say Boom Shakalaka took a lot of deep threes. I mean, they nailed some of them, but I think some of the shots they kind of forced, and they were kind of getting frustrated for some of the calls that the refs were making, and I think that kind of set into them too. I mean, they had 2 players with 4 fouls. They got 2 technical fouls, if I'm not mistaken, and so I think that punished them as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they got into it on the bench a couple of times, especially during halftime. They were only down a couple points, but you could feel them starting to come apart.
I think that's one of those teams. We talk about the Alliance. They play together a lot. I know my team, we're all kind of friends. Boom Shakalaka, they all know each other. They've played together before. That kind of stuff on the bench is just going to happen as friends. It's not like necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just what happens when you're playing with people you know.
Yeah, you're more comfortable, so you're willing to say whatever.
As opposed to teams that are right. You can see it's different. There's a difference. Halfway Crooks and Skyhookers, our last game, was a battle. It was a battle throughout. The size wasn't a huge advantage until I think the last 2 minutes for the Halfway Crooks, who did escape with the win. They're also 2-1 as we mentioned, but I think Skyhookers really played well. And what'd you see from them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you saw number 2, Brendan O'Donnell. He led the team in scoring. All 3 games, he's led the team in scoring, so I think he's done well so far. Yeah, they had some size and they got some good plays, but I think the last few minutes, it's just Halfway Crooks kind of took over and controlled the game as well.
Yeah. I think you guys had a lot of size on them, but they're definitely not a small team. But I think just towards the end of the game, your size wore down and they couldn't keep up.
One thing I was going to add is I think O'Donnell's more of a scoring, more than just a scoring leader. He's kind of like an overall leader. They really look to him. Yeah. But when he subs out, he's always making sure people know who their man is and trying to make adjustments and keep the team together.
Definitely the leader for them. Who was your big surprise team? Quickly, we'll start down there. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm going to say Werewolves. I had them ranked pretty highly at the beginning of the season after week 1. I think I had them as my dark horse to win it all. And tonight I was like, I don't really know about going up against them tonight. But they pulled it out and they made some big plays down the stretch and held it together. So
I'd say, not to cut you off, but I'd say Big Baller Brain. I mean, they were down by 8 at one point to Lions, who that's probably the smallest lead we've seen. At that point in the game, it was the second quarter, and I think they only lost by 30. Not only, but that's the smallest. Yeah. That's the smallest deficit, and they're the only team without a win so far this season. Actually, along with Skyhookers, but I think they did really well tonight in playing against a really good, well-rounded team.
I'd say Skyhookers definitely surprised me the most. I didn't think they'd hang around with you guys for most of the game, and they were in it, and they even had a chance to win it towards the end.
I know. Good God. They're shooting, timely shooting.
Yeah.
They battle on the rebounds. We mentioned that. They're not a small team, but they're not necessarily a big team. And they were able to hang on the boards. I don't know the numbers exactly. Anyone have the rebounding from that game? That'll be a good storyline.
Exactly.
That'll be in the article, whoever's writing that one. Because you can tell the whole story of that game through rebounding. Yeah. And the size and not being smaller than the Halfway Crooks, and that was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so week 3, 1-3-0 team, 3 2-1s, and then 0-3. So 2 teams still searching for their first win. We'll see if they can get it in week 4. If I do math quickly, I know we get the Werewolves, so that means Skyhookers play Big Baller.
So someone's going to be...
There you go. So we'll have... So next week's the week.
The Battle of the Defeated.
Next week's the week for the Battle of the Defeated, exactly. For the guys, I'm Joey Zacco. We'll see you on Wednesday, October 18th for week 4 here at Wakefield Hills. And stay tuned to the site and all of our Twitter, Instagram, social media at @legacy_leagues. We'll see you for week 4.